Okay, we want to go right back to that breaking news we've brought to you. And we have Heidi Matthews with us, who is the president of the Utah Education Association. Heidi, I am so glad we get a chance to talk to you because we got your statement about what schools should be doing. And I want to let you start by telling us what that is. What are you calling on the governor and schools to do?
Well, thank you for having me. And let me be clear that there's no one out there who wants to get back to school with our students more than their teachers and their counselors and all the educators in the schools. But what we have determined is that leading up to now, we've really had a couple choices of doing our best to reopen safely and or continuing with our remote learning. And with the rising cases, and our inability to control the virus, that option is no longer viable. And we are calling on the governor to extend the distance learning, to delay the opening of face-to-face school in our school buildings so that we have an opportunity to do this right and get back into our schools safely,
and I
while
want
not
to
jeopardizing.
Forgive me for interrupting. I do want to push that point a little bit because it sounds like two different things: delaying opening schools and extending distance learning. I mean, one is starting schools but online. So what are you asking?
Opening of the to clarify, I'm talking about delaying opening of the physical school buildings. That we are not in any way advocating for a delay of school, just how we do it. And a continuation of the distance learning is what we as the Utah Education Association, our leaders, our members, feel is the only way that we can assure the safety and the well-being of our students, our employees, and our families. We do not want our public schools being the super spreaders of the virus.
You do talk in your statement about wanting teachers' voices in the planning process and also healthcare voices in the planning process. How are you saying that teachers have not been included in planning?
It's been, there are some district plans that have had a considerable amount of educator voice, and not surprisingly, those have been among the best.
Okay.
We want to assure the voice at every step of the way. And while the plan many of the concerns, some of the conditions, workplace conditions, the employee rights, those aspects have not been covered in the plans for the districts.
Talk to parents. What should parents be thinking right now as they hear this? Because what they're hearing is, oh my gosh, I thought school was about to start in 2 or 3 weeks, and if it doesn't, what am I going to do? And I'm sure you understand that. So what should a parent like that be thinking?
Well, I'm a parent. My kids are a little older now, but I absolutely understand and sympathize with the concerns. This isn't anything any of us would have liked to be doing. Do we want our kids back in school full time? Absolutely. But we need to do it in a way that we can stay open and that we don't further exacerbate the virus. And we have to be sending the message that the safety, well-being of our students and our employees in the schools are paramount, and we cannot assure that safety. So will a continuation of online learning not be the best? We all know face-to-face learning is the best. Is it inconvenient? Yeah. Yes. It is necessary.
My producers are going to be very angry with me, but I'm going to ask you another question because I need to know. You're probably the most powerful union in the state. Would teachers strike, or what would teachers do if these guidelines are not followed?
So I think that, and you mentioned this a little bit before, and I appreciate the compliment. And I want to extend that to all of the educators who are members of the Utah Education Association, because it is your power that makes us have this influence for the betterment of our schools. I hear teachers saying, We need to work together to get us back to school safely and in a way that we can be the best teachers that we possibly be. I also hear us saying that we need to take better protection of our most vulnerable students and our most the challenges that our teachers and families and communities have.
Would you take it as far as a strike?
You know, as what we would say, I can see job actions. I really can. And the job action takes different forms of, you know, that we insist upon this returning to this condition because we all share the right answers. But we teachers, we are problem solvers. We are not about we're not about going about this problem by just saying no. We're going to say, hey, here are the parameters. Let's work together and get this done.
Job actions could be like what? Sick outs could be.
What I mean by a job action is working remotely until we can get this worked out.
Okay. Okay. Heidi Matthews, thank you. I've taken some extra time here, but it's because it's such an important issue, and every parent watching is just trying to, and I know the teachers care too, but every parent watching is thinking, what's going to happen?
They do, and we really are all in this together and pushed up against untenable situations.
Forgive me, I do have to cut you off there, but thank you so much, Heidi Matthews, President of the Utah Education Association.